Go.
All right, guys. How's everybody? I'm used to teaching in class, so we're gonna make it work. So we're gonna do how many listings you need and how to get them. So how to get listings and how many you need. Before we dive in, James Ross is on Zoom and Thomas Levinsky is here. They provided lunch today, so I'm going to give them a quick opportunity to introduce themselves, tell you guys a little bit about their businesses and what they can help your clients with. I use them personally. James has 3 deals in pending with me. Thomas has 5 or 6 of my clients that are currently being covered. So they do a wonderful job for us on our team we are building, and want to get them established and help them out. So James is on virtual, and I know he's down in Florida. So we're going to let him go first. James, you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself, my friend?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks so much, Ethan. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, I am James Ross, work for Smith Brody and Associates, formerly known as, in Smith Brody as the Ross team. I'm partnered with Angie Ross, who has been in the business for about 23 years now. I just joined about 8 months ago, and we have been rocking and rolling ever since. Streamlining processes and just, really getting a good game plan and able to get files done quickly and efficiently. So a little bit about us. Our motto is kind of, a son's attitude and a mother's touch. You always want that warm caressing, of your clients, something that, will make them feel excited and, hopeful for this process. But in the same hand, you want somebody who's going to fight to get the file done, to get it done on time, and to get it done as efficiently and smoothly as possible. And that's kind of where we are as a team. That's what our goals are. Personally, I'm buying a home right now and actually moving up to Minnesota. And it is a very exciting process, a very fun process, but it's also a very, very stressful process. And sometimes I feel like other lenders can lose sight of that. But that's something that we hold true and dear for every single person we talk to. We want them to know, hey, look, we know this is a daunting task, but it's also exciting. You're buying a home, you're moving into somewhere new, you're starting your life in another direction, another place. So, that's a little bit about where we come from, where we stand, what our kind of goals are, is making your clients feel, like they've not only found a home that they're living in, but they've found a home with their lender and with their realtor. We're all about repeat business. So, which is good for the pipeline. So also a little about us, Smith Brody, we have about 18 different lenders that we pick from, or that we broker through. So we use Loan Sifter, and out of all 18, we run a ton of different scenarios. We have, all kinds of different requirements, different credit scores that we can go down to, go up to, different interest rates for different people. Ethan will tell you, we just had a FHA deal. I got him a 2.75, giving him, about $1,500 or $2,000 of a lender credit. And, it's little things like that that make a huge difference to your borrowers. And it's those things that, make people want to come back to you and say, oh yeah, they took care of me. I want to go back and use them again. So that's a little bit about us. We don't charge any extra fees on our loan estimates, on our closing disclosures. There's not like processing fees and office fees that we charge to your borrowers. We are lender paid. Underwriting fees get paid by the lenders unless your borrowers specifically ask, for them to get paid otherwise. So yeah, that's kind of a 30,000 foot overview of who we are, what we do, what we're about. We're doing a lot for people that other people won't do. We're finding ways, even doing credit repair. Ethan will tell you, we've had probably 12 different files that are clients that need a little bit of credit work, and that's something I offer rapid rescore. Those people who are at a 580 and need to be at a 600. okay, let's get that done real quick, pay this off, and, you know, let's turn it around, flip it, and get the file closed. You know, so it makes a big difference when you have someone hands-on like that. So I don't want to throw too much out there. Ethan, if I start rambling, stop me, man. I'll keep going.
Yeah, well, we'll let Thomas introduce himself, man. I appreciate it. Enjoy your vacation, buddy, and thank you guys for sponsoring lunch. I'll let Thomas go, and then we are diving in.
Of course. Well, y'all have a great rest of your day, all right?
So they can see it.
Okay, cool. Hey, everybody, I'm Tom Levisky. I'm the founder and of TSI Risk Advisors, an insurance company I started this year. A little bit of a background on me. For the past 5 years, I worked for some of the bigger insurance companies, Allstate, State Farm. Got a little worn out of that whole scene, so what I did was I broke off on my own and started my own brokerage. I work with Ethan and James. It's been real good working with them so far, and I like to partner and work with a lot of loan officers and real estate agents, you know, in the local area. The name of my company, like I said, is Tri-State Insurance, or TSI Risk Advisors. And what I do is I represent all of Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio. Now, recently, I've really aggressively expanded in southern Indiana and northern Kentucky, which is where I see a lot of help, possibly from the people I'm talking to today, since it is the market down here. But what I'm about is just, you know, helping you guys provide more of a complete customer experience for your clients. Okay, in today's day and age, people like to see, you know, when they go to somebody, that they can provide them with almost like a one-stop shop type deal. So you run into a guy like Ethan, he can refer you to a guy like James, and then to a guy like myself. Take care of the loan, take care of the insurance, get the house, everything's taken care of the right way, out the door, everybody's happy. That's what I would like to do for everybody that I encounter. And it doesn't matter if your client bought a $100,000 house or $1 million house. I have a way to insure anything that they have, whether it's, you know, auto, home, life insurance, health insurance. I do everything. I have all 4 major licenses in all 3 states. Even if they're a little bit high risk, I have other ways to go about doing that and make sure that they get covered. And I work with and have partnered with about 25 different insurance companies in the area. So whether your client has somebody they like and they work with, if they give me an opportunity, usually I will be able to save them a decent amount of money and provide them with better coverage, just because I'm able to outsource that insurance to 25 different companies and kind of get a little bit of a bidding war going on for clientele. That's just a little bit about myself and what I do, and appreciate Ethan for having me here today and James for co-sponsoring the lunch with me.
Thanks, Mike. All right, guys, let's dive in. We're going to share that screen back. All right. There's Miss Amy Dixon. All right. So here's what you can expect today, guys. A couple things. We're going to work on how to figure out how many listings you need. Basically, it's our economic model. How to transition those to your 411 in your schedule, and how to pre-qualify a listing, and a quick run through of the listing presentation, okay? So before we dive in any further, gratitudes. Who's grateful? I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you. That means a lot. Anybody out on Zoom land have any gratitudes? Well, I'll tell you what, I'm grateful. This is going to sound a little corny. I'm extremely grateful. 2 things: to be safe. So, I mean, you can't take that for granted in the world we're in. And then I'm grateful to be a part of Keller Williams. I love our brokerage. You cut me open, I probably bleed red and black and white, whatever our colors are. So I love KW. I love the opportunities that it provides us, and we are lucky to be a part of such an amazing company.
I'm grateful that you're teaching today, Ethan.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you. All right. Yeah, and I figured it out because we're both on the same one. Cool. So first question I want to ask you guys, is at what point do we grow? At what point do we grow? Because this is going to be important for this class today. Participation is going to be required, okay? We are going to try to get through all of this in an hour. I want to value your time. I want to get you back to lead generating in your businesses. So we may go just a little bit over because we are cramming a bunch of material into an hour and we're asking for participation. So I want to go ahead and I want to ask you, at what point do we grow? I will call on you, or Sean will call on you in Zoom land. Don't log off. I know where you are. I'll text you. CJ, when you're uncomfortable. Crystal.
We got
100%.
I think whenever it takes, whenever it's required, we push them.
Exactly. So we when we push the limits of our comfort zone, that is when we grow. We're not going to call on you all to be mean. We're not going to call on you all for things like that. We're calling on you all because we want to push the limits of your comfort zone and watch you grow. Okay. So first thing, economic model. I'm going to go back and forth between the presentations, so stay with me. I'm going to show you my own numbers and what I use to track this. You have to understand what an economic model is before we dive in, okay? So page 129 of the MREA, essentially the economic model describes the relationship between it's covering it up. A series of activities, AKA your activities is your lead generation and the specific outcomes that they produce. Every business has an economic model, whether you know it or not. We want to be intentional about ours, and that's why you're taking this class. TSI Risk Advisors has an economic model. James Ross has an economic model. McDonald's has an economic model. What activities do you produce to get the results that you want? For us, it's lead generation, okay? The economic model shows where your money comes from, your gross commission income, where your money goes, your expenses, and how much you're putting in your pocket, your profit, your net income, okay? So before I get ahead of myself, so for us, we are not going to dive in very far to cost of sales, to expenses, to things like that, okay? So numbers that I use, those things have already been factored in. That's a little bit of a different class. Just for now, understand that GCI, that GCI number has that factored in. I've already went and factored in $20,000 is being paid to International and the Market Center, 17 and 3. Expenses have already been budgeted for. These are my actual numbers, okay? So that's what needs to be hit in order to hit the 179,567, okay? So what this is going to show you, and I'm going to run down the Excel sheet here in just a second. This is exactly how you figure out how many listings you need to take. I want you to pay attention to something up here and see what we miss, okay? See, you're going to see a gap in these numbers, and I want to have a conversation around that, okay? See if you can figure it out. So, total GCI, our goal is 179,567. Our average sales price is 210,000. Average commission, I take it at 2.7%. I like to budget low, okay? I like to budget a little bit lower. So that gives you an average commission of $5,670, okay? So how much, when we're sitting down and we are setting our goals for the year, we look at how much of our business do we want to come from listings, okay? How much of our business? bare minimum of 50. You really want to be listing heavy. Why do you want to be listing heavy?
You get leads from, the outside. Or, buyers.
CJ, why do you want to be listing heavy?
More leads, more money.
More leads, more money. Very good. How many leads? There you go. Yes, that's where.
And every listing should bring you 2 buyers.
Very good. So how many deals should you get off of one listing? How many deals? If you're supposed to get 2 buyers, 2 transactions, 2 buyers, how many total deals should you get off of one listing? The MRE.
The answer is at least 3.
At least 3. Okay. How does that bank out? Why is it 3?
Because one of them might not be ready yet.
So you should have the house you sell, they have to buy, and your advertising should bring in 1 other lead. Okay.
And if you circle prospect, you should get at least 1 more.
And if you circle prospect and our face, so shameless plug here, if you all should be setting up and be ready to run a Facebook ad as soon as your listings go live. We'll have another class. We'll teach you all how many times to follow up with them and what that looks like. I've got 4 closing off Facebook ads next week, $20,000 GCI. I'm not bragging about that. I want you all to understand. Then ask somebody else to run theirs. That's why I'm saying you can't wait. The minute it hits, you need to be running your Facebook ad. You've got to have that going because you're exactly right. Yeah, you gotta go. That's part of our listing process. So Ashley knows that as soon as we have these listings go live next week, when IDX pushes them to Facebook, she has to run a Facebook ad so we can get leads off of them. Back on this. Okay. So you need to determine over time, these numbers will fill out for you. Okay. For now, I use 80%. It's actually much higher. Percentage of listings closed. 80%, we're saying that 80% of our listings are going to close. 8 out of every 10 houses we put on aren't going to expire. They're going to make it to the closing table, okay? So what we do with that, look here. I'm going to go back. I got a little ahead of myself. I apologize. Back up here, 60 of our business will be listing side. So that gives us $107,740 GCI from listings, okay? Of that GCI from listings, we're going to take $107,740 divided by our average commission, okay? That is how we get 20 listings sold. You see, as you start getting clarity around your numbers, how that makes it easier. So we have to sell 20 houses to hit our goal. All right. So percentage of listings closed before I got ahead of myself. 80% of those houses are going to close. Okay. That is shooting extremely low, extremely low. Because for this market, you put it on, it's going to sell unless there's something wrong. But of the 20 houses that we have to sell to hit our goal, we divide that by 80% and we get 25 houses that we have to list to hit our goal. Okay. We must list 25. We have to sell 20. The reason I aim low is, oh goodness, we sold 23 and we made more money. Yeah. You break that down. I want you to catch the number right below this, okay? We divide 25 houses by 10 months, okay? So that's 3 houses listed. Now, if you actually divide that out, it gives you 2 point something. When you are setting your goals, you always round up, okay? Judy Martin, why do we always round up? Can you unmute her, Sean?
I don't know.
You always round up because it goes back to the same thing of, oh, I have extra left over, I made more money, okay? You want to assume, you want to overshoot so you hit your goal, okay? Does that make sense to everybody?
Yep. Ethan, why did you only use 10 months?
Yes, and you front load your year, your months, and your weeks. Does everybody know what I mean by front load, CJ? So you want to put the bulk of your goal at the front of your year, the front of your month, the front of your week. So if you need to list 3 houses this month, you want to try to list 2 to 3 houses at the front of the month. If you need to list 25, you want to try to list as many as possible in the first part of the year to make sure you hit your goal. Make sense?
If you have your goal of 3 houses to list per month, at least on the first week, on the second week, on the third week, then you got the bonus 4th week to catch up. If you need it, but front row, yeah.
Yes. So,
Can you repeat what Amy said?
can you say it again, Amy?
No, can you repeat it? We can't hear with the microphone.
No, I wasn't paying attention. I gotta see what she said.
You're gonna list 4 houses per week, per month.
Okay.
At least 1 per week for the first 3 weeks, and you have the 4th week as a bonus,
So if you front load your month and you need to list 4 houses a month, and you front load the correct way, the first 3 weeks you should have all your houses listed. The last week is your bonus. So if you have to catch up, you've got it. If not, we're still striving to get ahead of our goal. Okay.
That and listings that you take in November and December are most likely not going to sell in that current year, correct?
Exactly. That's why we do it for 10 months. Okay. That's why we divide everything out by 10 months. Because when October, our year starts October 1. 2021 for realtors starts October 1. Okay. Anything that we put in our pipeline is going to be in the next year. All right. Listing appointments that you need. Okay. At an 80% conversion rate, we are dividing the 25 houses that we need listed by 80%. That gives us 32 appointments that we need to go on into the year. You break this down by 10 months. Divide 32 out by 10 months, round up. That tells you monthly how many appointments you need to go on, okay? Now, quick word on conversion rate. What do you think is a good conversion rate? What do you think your conversion rate should be that you should be shooting for? What do you think? No wrong answers. We're here to learn. Okay. I want 100% too. You need to shoot for 75. Here's why, okay? Because your sphere of influence, what's the chance they're going to list with you? Yeah, 95%. So when somebody tells you that they have this astronomical conversion rate, and then you ask them, where's your business come from? Most of the time it's past clients, sphere of influence, some sort of relationship-based business, okay? The reason it's 75 is because if you are focusing also on what I refer to as transactional business, FSBOs, expireds, circle prospecting, open houses, that's a tougher conversion rate. They're harder to convert. So that's going to pull your conversion rate down, and you should be targeting about 75%. Okay? Does that make sense? Questions, guys? Comments, concerns?
I just have a comment that the more you practice and the more classes you go to, the higher your conversion rate's going to be.
100%. There is a significant difference between people who go to Bold, attend classes, and put forth the effort than those that do not. Okay. So I will go back here in a minute, but I want to see if you all caught it. Did you all see what our GCI goal was of 179,000? Did you see what listings was set out to bring us? 107. Where's the gap? Buy side, $62,000. So why is it that we just focus on the listing side? Your leads, your buyer leads are going to come from your listings. Okay. So it's like Gary tells us, you got to focus on one thing. Okay. If you follow the model, and this is something my coaches point out to me, I didn't realize this. If you follow our models and you worry more about the models, you will get the results. Focus on listings. Listings are going to bring in your buyers, and they will make up that other part of your GCI, okay? You still have to pay attention to them, but remember, our numbers are run 60% listings. If all those people buy, you're golden. It's taking care of itself. Make sense? It's like, CJ, you told me today, you've got a buyer and a seller. There's two deals. One listing is bringing in your buy side. And then you will advertise, you'll get leads off of it, you'll convert later down the road.
Good job, CJ. Woo, woo.
But I mean, it could be free because she could be looking for the seller, you know. So
One-
you could bring the buyer to the listing and then you have to buy the seller.
Thomas, can I share your story?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. So I sold Thomas his house last year. Okay. Off of his house, I had the seller. I'd already had the house listed. Okay. He described to me what he wanted. Said, okay, awesome. Took him to it. We advertised the listing for one day. We got other leads off of it. 3 deals off of one lead. Actually, we're relisting his house. That one listing is 4 deals. That one listing is 4 deals.
So where did the seller go? You're selling.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
The seller, okay, yeah, and that's the other part. The seller was contracted to buy a new construction home, and we had appraisal issues. But we would have had 5. It fell through, and they bought it for sale by owner. So, no, you're good. No, it's a running. Thomas and I talk about that. That's why I looked at it. Okay. So all these numbers, what's it mean? We just took how many appointments we need, how many closings we need, how many closings we need, how many appointments, and how many homes we need to sell. Okay? So we've got to take all this together and start formulating a plan around it. Okay? So we use a 411 to keep us on a monthly and weekly schedule. 411 stands for 4 weeks, 1 month, 1 year. There's a document, and I want to test you all who went to Craig's class a couple weeks ago.
I was there.
Perfect. Perfect. There's a very important document that we're not covering in this class because Craig covered it a couple weeks ago, and the classes kind of go hand in hand. You have to have a GPS, okay? I'm gonna exit out of this. I'm gonna show you mine here in just a second. And I'm gonna show you what a 411 looks like, okay? So from those goals, in the first section, you will fill out, okay, my yearly goal is 179,000 of GCI. We're going to break that down into a month, divided by 10. Your 4 weeks are going to be what action items you're pulling over from your GPS to hit those goals. And I'm going to show you mine, okay? Okay, this is our GPS. So our goal this year is to list 33 homes. All right, we're going to list 8 homes from Facebook ads and social media. We're going to list 5 homes from our sphere of influence and our past clients, 8 homes from the database, 8 homes from open house, and 5 from FSBOs and expires. As you go through this, you'll learn what worked for you. I had to tweak mine a few months back, and we'll have to tweak ours going into next year. It's okay, especially if you're newer, to start finding your groove. Let me give you an example. I worked for about a year and a half to get really good at FSBOs. I despise them. I'm just being honest. I'm good at it. I don't like it. However, it's a big source of income for us. We're sitting at 8 FSBOs and expireds listed this year and sold. So we can't disregard that. However, we have to improve our skill sets around other things. Me personally, I want number 1 to be our database and our past clients and sphere of influence. And you can break that up. You could actually break that into 2 like we have here. Geographic farm, I want to be more relationship and marketing based than transactional based. Okay, so geographic farming, and then open houses will always be in there. That's what we'll look like next year. Okay, and we have to work on those skill sets to get better. Okay, so I have my 411 on paper. You all have to do things that work for you. Okay, this is what my coach and I use to track our progress because we can see it. We have a 411 on here. I don't like it because it's not in front of me every single day. So what I have to do is I have to make sure this is sitting on my desk. It's this form right here. This is sitting on my desk every single day when I walk in. And it's in front of me to remind me to get my stuff done. Okay? So see how I was breaking that out? There are your business goals, my annual goals. Break it down into your monthly, and then break it down weekly. Here's how you can kind of see it. Back to February, we're doing 1 open house. We're doing 150 invites to the database. We're going to door knock 30 homes, set 1 listing appointment, contact 15 new people. Now, as you do this, you only fill out 1 week at a time. You don't fill out all 4 weeks. Fill out 1 week at a time. Who's got the answer to why that is? Exactly. Exactly. And it may change. And if you don't hit one of those goals, it still has to get done. So you take it from week 1 to week 2 to make sure that it gets done. Okay. This one on here has personal too. You can do this for personal. Just kind of throwing that out there. If you have your personal goals. The slideshow or the 411? Yes. Yes, we will get, actually there's a copy of it in there already. I think Heidi 4 put a copy in our shared drive. Yep, it's the same thing. Okay. No, you're good. Ask questions, please. Debbie, James, Judy, do you all have any questions? Is this helpful? CJ? Good. Okay. So that's how you plan out and how you get your listings, okay? That's how you get clarity around your numbers. If you want to learn more about it, come see me. We'll work through it together. I'll help you with it, okay?
It's super helpful, Ethan. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Super helpful, especially for a brand new agent who sees this ginormous goal of, I forget what it was, 210,000 or 270. And that seems like a lot. And you have no idea how to get there until you take it and you chunk it down by month and then by week.
Absolutely. And I will sit and be like deer in the headlights around the goal. And then when I start chunking it down and you get more excited and you get more clarity. Because not having clarity, that's when you start and you just sit. That's analysis by paralysis. Then when you start chunking it down, you start getting clarity and you get your action items to go do. So one more thing on that. We carry this over to our schedule.
Is all that in command?
Some of it is in command. This is my week, okay? We moved the class. I didn't move it on my schedule. Fridays, I try to take off a little bit in the weekends because I always work open houses every single Sunday. So I try to take half days. But do you see right here how it is on my schedule? Yes. All right. Questions, comments, promises, threats. Okay. So we've covered that. We've covered our numbers. Now we're going to cover when we go on the listing appointment. Okay. We're going to dive into that. I'm going to count this down to just me. You are a beast.
Well, one was a FISBO. Two of them were FISBOs. One of them is somebody I know, and one of them is both of them people I know. Yeah.
There you go. So your first step on the listing appointment is to pre-qualify an appointment, okay? Pre-qualifying an appointment is a series of questions for you to ask your client. It helps you confirm motivation and time frame. It gives you a clear picture of what needs to be done. It helps you value your time and the client's time and sets expectations on what the meeting is for. How many times have you gone on an appointment and sat there and the seller say, oh, I didn't know we were listing today, or I don't, well, I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready. Pre-qualifying helps you value your time and theirs, okay? And it also, you'll see the script. We're going to run through the script real quick. It helps you, they know why you're coming. And the words I want to use is not correct. It's not true. But it sets expectations is the best way to push it. There's no surprises. They are not going to be surprised why you're coming. Now, why do we pre-qualify? The best reason for this is, and this comes straight from my coach, because we're professionals. When you go to the doctor and you say, I am sick, I have a problem, what does he start asking? What are your symptoms? Have you had fever? Have you had cough? Are you throwing up? Do you have a rash? That's pre-qualifying, guys. When you go to an attorney and he starts asking what happened, where were you, what did you do, tell me the facts, that's pre-qualifying. It is figuring out how they can help you achieve your goal. It's what you're doing with your sellers. How can I help you achieve your goal? Okay? Pre-qualifying script and discussion.
Ethan, I also like asking, oh, are you going to go into questions now? Never mind.
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
You're probably going to cover this, but I also like to ask after going through the list of questions. So confirm the date and then ask them, are all decision makers going to be at the appointment?
Yep.
And that way you're setting the expectations that the decision makers need to be there and whoever can legally sign has to be at that appointment. So they already know why you're coming.
Exactly. And this is what this pre-qualifying script 100% does. It's from Bulb 2.0. When you start doing this, your conversion rate's going to start going up. Okay, mine does. My coach knows when I've pre-qualified an appointment or not. Okay, so basically the way to look at this is a standard in your business. A standard is something that you do not drop below. Okay, so meaning every single time you're going to do this. You list your friend's house. You're going to run a pre-qualify script. Now, one thing I will say on timing, if you're dealing with a FSBO and you put them through the ringer to get that appointment, you've went 4 to 5 times to confirm that appointment, you don't want to pre-qualify right then and there. Okay? Call them a day before and say, hey, I'm going to call to confirm our appointment and we'll have a couple questions.
That's run interference.
Say again? Oh. James is off mute. That's what it was. Okay. If it's super tough, wait and pre-qualify them the day before the appointment. Okay. If it is somebody that's super easy out of your sphere, they called you, dive right in. You set the appointment, transition right in. Here's the other thing that I want you all, and CJ, this is big for you as a new agent. So scripts are dialogue. On our last slide, I'll cover this a little bit more. Scripts are dialogues to help you achieve a certain result. Okay? You need to read the script and internalize it. You need to learn it, know it, and as you practice it, it will start to become your own. Yeah, you'll gloss over a few things and you'll change the wording, and that's okay. You have to first learn it, practice it, and internalize it. So, Crystal, would you care to go through this with me?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Do you want me to be the agent or?
Why don't you be the client?
Okay.
Because I want to give CJ, I want to give them an opportunity. I will glance at it. I usually have it in front of me. If I don't, I'll get you one. We'll get you a copy. Yep. Take
So
hold.
come up to the laptop so we can hear.
Come up to the laptop. Okay.
Hold on, make sure I don't have anything in my teeth. I just ate.
They can't see you. You're good. You're
Oh,
good.
good.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Oh, you're the client.
Oh, hi. You just said ring ring.
Yeah, no, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, is Crystal available?
This is her.
Hey, Crystal, it's Ethan over at Keller Williams. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I am excellent. I appreciate you asking. Hey, I want to confirm our appointment for tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Are we still good for that?
Yeah. We're good. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I will be there at 4 o'clock. I need to make sure that I serve you in the best way possible. I need to ask you a couple of questions. Do you have 5 minutes to answer a few questions for me?
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. So when we last talked, you wanted to sell your house and you wanted to get out in the country a little bit more and capitalize on the market. Your home's a little too small. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so I had down here, we're looking for no less than 3 bedrooms, no less than 2,000 square feet, right?
Yes. 2 full bath.
2 full bath. Okay, perfect. Thank you. and basically you want to move because the market's hot right now and we don't really know what it's going to do 4 to 5 months from now, right?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Okay.
I want to get that interest rate in. I want to get it while it's low.
Right, and we don't want that going up, correct?
Absolutely not.
Perfect. All right, so if I sell your house in the next 30 days, is that going to cause a problem for you?
Oh my gosh, no, I'll give you a kiss on the cheek.
Okay, perfect. Cool. I don't know how to react to that. Have you looked online to see what current values are doing?
No, because that's why I'm hiring you.
Perfect. And I've got plenty of data. We'll go over that when we get there. Okay.
Okay.
What are some of the positive features of your home?
I have a great window, a bay window out in the living room. I got nice landscaping, and my favorite is fenced in backyard.
So fenced in backyard,
Mm-hmm.
fenced in backyard, bay window. What was the last one?
I said landscaping.
Landscaping. Okay, perfect. So is there anything negative that a buyer could potentially see as a negative?
No. I mean, there may be a little scrapes on the walls and, just cosmetic stuff, but overall it's perfect. I mean, not perfect, but it's going to be perfect for the next family.
Perfect. Okay. So just a few cosmetic things?
Just cosmetic.
Okay. So I want to make sure that I exceed your expectations, Crystal. What do you need to hear from me to make that happen? What is most important to you when choosing an agent?
I want you just to be honest. Never tell me anything that I just want to hear.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you want me
I
blunt,
want you to be
straightforward?
blunt, straight to the point, and just market the heck out of it.
Market
Open house. I want you to do an open house on it.
Okay. What are your expectations as far as marketing?
I know that, it'll be all over the internet, but, I want to make sure that, you're sharing it on Facebook and doing door knocking before the open house.
Perfect. Okay. So you want to make sure that we are actively selling your property, correct?
Actively, yes, on it.
Perfect. So, hey, Crystal, I've already sent out our listing packet to you. You should be getting it by tomorrow if you haven't already. Take a few minutes before our meeting. Read over that, see how we're going to get your home sold, and we'll cover that when I get there. Crystal, when we're together tomorrow at 4 o'clock, if you feel comfortable and confident that I can get your home sold for the
Bring
most.
those papers, Ethan,
Let's
so
sell
I
it.
can sign it.
Okay. What questions do you have?
None. I don't have anything right now, I don't think, but if I do, I'll definitely let you know.
Perfect. One last question.
Sure.
Are all the decision makers going to be present?
That is me, myself, and I.
Okay, so you're the only one.
Absolutely.
All right, love it. I will see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
All right, see you then, Ethan. Thanks.
All right. So guys, if you notice, if you kind of read along with us, you notice that I went off script a little bit here and there. However, 95 to 90% of it was the script. Okay? That's because we internalize it and we go. Once you get good at this, this happened to me last week, called, hey, I want to list the house. Perfect. I have to pre-qualify you. I know this by heart. We're just going to go bang, 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 bang. The most important one that you can ask is the very last one. If you feel comfortable and confident that I can get your house sold and put the most amount of money in your pocket, because they know you're going to ask. They say yes, boom, expectations set. We're signing a contract. Then when you get there, they want to, they start kind of feeling uneasy, want to start backing out. Hey, you told me yesterday that if I made you feel comfortable and confident, you would be willing to sell, to list with me. What have I not said to make you feel comfortable and confident? I literally had a person, when I went out on my own, the very first listing appointment I went on, I did this, I read it verbatim, I sounded like a robot. I go there and she said, I told you that I was going to be ready to list. And just looked at me like a deer in the headlights. Because she had told me, she gave me that commitment. Okay? If they say no, your next question is, what do you need to hear to feel comfortable and confident? So you know going in.
It's like, you want to hear. You don't want to hear it.
Yeah. What do you want to hear?
What do you want to hear?
Yep. What? No, I wouldn't look at it as BS. I would look at it as, what do I need to do to meet your expectations? Okay, because that's honestly what you want to do. The second one, will all parties be there? Will all the decision makers be there? Okay. If you remember, doctor, you are prescribing this to your client. Okay. If they say no, you have to read the situation. If they say no, I'm not, you have to evaluate whether you should go on the appointment or not. 2 instances. I had one guy who's like, no, I'm not signing a listing contract. I'm interviewing agents. Bring your A game. Come on. I still went on that appointment because it's just a matter of skill. Yeah, it's a matter of skill. And if I don't, where do I have to get better? Where do I have to get better?
It's not skill, it's confidence.
It's confidence, yes. If it's, no, I'm not ready, well, hey, that's perfectly okay. I want to make sure that I value your time, and we do this when you are ready. When do you think you would be ready? Okay. Maybe in a couple of weeks. All right, let's reevaluate then. Keep my packet. I'm going to follow up with you, and we'll set another appointment in a couple of weeks, okay? Make sense? Because what could you be doing while you go out on that appointment that could be a waste of your time? What could you be doing?
I'm going in every listening appointment and never
100%. But if you don't know, if they're wishy-washy and you don't have confidence that they're selling,
I don't know. I really don't know.
you could be lead generating. You could be doing other dollar productive tasks. Make sense? Okay.
And Ethan, with the seller that, they say, well, I'm interviewing all of these other agents and you better bring your A game. I always tell our agents that you do not need to oversell during those appointments. Always ask more questions than you're giving a sales speech.
Yep.
Because when you're asking questions and you're listening to the seller, you're understanding what they need and what they want versus them having to listen to another sales pitch.
You have to get on a personal level.
Yes.
That's going to set you apart from all of those other interview appointments. And you always want to go in first or go in last. What's your opinion on that, Ethan?
The person who talks the least wins. I heard that from a regional owners podcast, Linda McKissick. So when you go on the appointment, yeah, you want to be first or last. I'll be totally open and honest. I oversold. It was early. When you always come from, I need business. Oh, I need business. They can smell it. He smelled it. It was early on. He knew I needed business. I oversold. I overpushed. I talked too much and didn't listen enough and didn't ask as great a questions as I need to. And generally, the person who talks the least wins.
So I did that right, because I started the client that I had, that I was talking about this morning, I started it out just by saying, just let me listen, tell me what you want.
Yep.
And then we went into that, I have to talk about 15 minutes later, just a little bit. So
There you go. That's perfect. And now you're searching for homes.
And you got on that personal level with them. You were like, tell me about you.
yeah.
Tell me what you want.
Yep. Every time when they trust you and you have that bond, you're golden. Any questions out in Zoom land, Miss Sean?
Are we gonna be able to get copies of?
I don't see any in the chat box.
Okay.
You're doing good.
All right. So listing appointment. So they changed bold a little bit, and I didn't take the old one. I took bold 2.0. So I don't have the script in front of me. Okay. But here's basically how it goes in a nutshell. Okay. The listing appointment. When you set that listing appointment, be on time or a few minutes early. It shows you're a professional, and let them know you were on time. So internalize and personalize. The bold script, Diana Kukuska used to say it, and you'll hear the running joke in the office. It's 12, we had an appointment at 12 o'clock and it's 12 o'clock, okay? I always make a little joke. Hey, I said it, I'll walk in, I say, hey, 6 o'clock, I'm right on time, guys. How are you all? Make them laugh a little bit. And they know I was on time. I'm a professional, okay? Tour the home, okay? This day and age, the way they teach it to us is that you want the client to have a seat, look over your marketing material while you and paperwork as you tour the home. And the script is, I want to get a view of what a buyers will see. I'm breaking model here. I know, Sean. I'm sorry. The day and age that we're in with COVID, with tensions the way they are, I would not let somebody tour my house by themselves, personally. So what I say is, would you be offended? Would you give me a tour of the home, and would you be offended if I get a perception of what a buyer will see? Okay, no. Why do we say, would you be offended?
Because you're in their space.
How many times are you ever offended? The answer, the script sets you up. Hey, would you be offended if I borrow that pen from you? No, I wouldn't be offended. I'm asking if I'm going to offend you. I'm not asking if I can borrow your pen. What do? Hand it to me. Yeah. Once you've toured the home, ask, where can I put my items down at a table? Let them pick a chair. Okay. When they guide you to a table, they're naturally going to walk to their chair, to where they feel most comfortable sitting. Okay. It's important. If you go ahead and sit down and you took their chair the whole meeting, they're going to be a little uneasy. Okay. Let them sit down first. If you can position yourself next to them, not across from them. So Crystal, where you're sitting, I know you all can't see, Crystal's just sitting at a table. I would want to sit at the end of the table so that I'm side by side. Body language, when I am straight across from you, that is a dominating factor. That is a negotiating pose. When I sit beside you, we're friends, we're comfort. If you go to a lot of higher end restaurants, you will notice that they sit you like that because they want you to feel relaxed, okay? You have to give yourself every little edge, okay? So, your listing appointment goals, and this is a script. Crystal, I'm so glad we get to meet today. We're gonna do 3 things, and you can internalize this a little bit better. So basically I would say, hey, Crystal, so you wanted to move out into the country a little bit, 2,000 square feet. You want this home sold as quick as possible, right?
Yes, and the most money for sure.
And the most money possible. So we're going to agree upon a price. We're going to go through that, and we're going to agree to sell that at a certain price. Then also, I want to make sure that you and I are a fit to work together. Give me the script. What do you mean? Say, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
So what I mean is I want to make sure that we're fit. It very rarely happens that we're not a fit. However, it takes a team to sell a house. You and I, we got to make sure that we're going to be a fit to work together, okay? Because we want this to be an enjoyable experience, right?
Absolutely.
Perfect, okay. So answer, and then the last thing we're going to do, I want you to have all your questions answered. So before we leave, ask me any and all questions, and we'll get those answered for you, okay? Anything in the chat box, Ms. Sean?
Oops, I just added the bold scripts and materials for everybody.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so
I'm
much.
gonna email them out to the people in class Do you have anyone else besides CJ and Crystal?
No, that is all. Amy's here in and out.
Amy? Okay. I'll send out the email to everyone.
Okay. So when you were sitting at that table, show the first part of your listing presentation, get to the point. They want to know what's my home worth. Okay. Show them your comps. I like to give them a range. They want and agree upon a price. Okay. This is what we can expect if we price it here. This is where I think we should price it and price it correctly. This is what you can expect here. Give them a range. You mean it. It's a team effort. Okay, so you all are going to agree upon a price together. Thomas, when we sat and listed your house, what did we say? How many comps did we look at? And what did we say, what we could expect and what pitfalls? We went through all that, didn't we?
Yes.
He has a home for sale.
I think.
Go for it.
Okay. So you're saying that my house will go for $200,000. Well, I put all kinds of money in here, and me personally think that I could get $225,000.
Gotcha. What have you done to make sure to make you think it's worth $225,000?
I've updated everything, like HVAC. I built a new garage. I put new carpet in. I painted that new bay window. I did some new bay window. But I really do think that I can get $225,000 for it.
Okay. I appreciate that. What if 2 weeks go by and we don't get a buyer?
Well, I really wish that, maybe we can try for, I really want that money. Maybe we can try about a week and see what we get.
So let me ask you, the golden period's about 2 weeks, especially in this market, Crystal. If not, people think something is wrong because of how fast homes are moving. What happens if your house gets a stigma because we realize that we priced it incorrectly?
I understand that, I really truly believe that, I can get that on there and, I don't think I want to sign it, but we don't, I want that 225 mark.
Perfect. Okay. So let me ask you this. What if we list it for 225, we get 225, and then we get an appraisal back and we went through all this and you have to sell this home to get a new home, right?
Yeah, I agree. I need the proceeds to get a new one, yes.
Perfect. So you're going to be out, $400 for an inspection on your next home, $400 for an appraisal, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what if this home does not appraise and you're out almost $1,000 on your next home?
I don't know. I really think that I can get 225 because, a lot of people have been telling me that, I could get 225. So, I'm sticking to my guns. I really want it, and I really want to get 225.
Perfect. Okay. So you want to get 225. I understand that's important to you. I would highly advise against it. Okay.
Okay, but can we just do it and, I know you said the 2 weeks, but, can we at least, let's go for a week and see what it is, so it doesn't stall that much. I really want that money.
What's a price that we could compromise on?
How about we say, I don't want it no less than 222. 222, my top dollar. Already.
Okay. So at that point, Crystal, this is where you got to make a decision. Okay. Here's the deal. I don't feel comfortable. I don't mind testing the market and trying to get you some extra money because of how few houses we have. However, to price it over $25,000, I don't think we're going to get there. So I'm okay with.
How about we talk about it, we'll see how it goes, and then, just to see what the activity on, and then we can come back and talk about it.
So let's do this. Why don't we list it for 222? If we don't have a signed offer within 3 days,
I'll drop it down to 200
within 3 days,
no, we'll drop it down to 250.
let's drop it down to 205.
210.
Let's drop it down to 205.
Hey, Ethan,
Yes, ma'am.
can everybody hear me? When you get a seller that is stuck on a price, it's super important for them to understand that you and I are working as a team,
Exactly.
and you and I cannot make the market,
Then you leave.
but I am the professional and I have the information for you, and the numbers that have sold in this area is what makes the market. So there's no way for us to change what the market is telling us. If you want to list your home at 225, I will be more than happy to, but what needs to happen to allow me to do that and to allow our brokerage to do that is you'll have to go get an independent appraisal prior to listing the property. And whatever that appraisal comes back at, I'll be more than happy to list your home at.
That's genius. And this is why we teach classes, guys. So this is why we teach and go to classes, because I learn as much as you all do. You learn just as much, if not more, from teaching. So now I know how to handle that objection a whole lot better. You did. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Because
Real estate Yoda, Ethan.
that, what happened? We got better. Perfectly fine.
We
Absolutely.
get better together.
We get better together. So,
All right, that's fine. Let's go ahead and let me get an appraisal on it and see what that does. I know it's extra money that, I don't want to, okay, I really don't want to spend the money, Ethan. I trust you in, and let's just see, I trust you as a professional.
that was good,
You
Sean.
do your job. So, okay, I agree to sign the waiver at 200.
Perfect.
I appreciate that you're willing to do that, Crystal, because what I don't want to happen is I don't want to set expectations for you that neither one of us can meet.
There you go.
Yeah, but I just, there's just, I think that there's so many people, different people that's just telling me that I can get more and more and more out of the home, but, numbers don't lie, so.
Well, and those people that are telling you that really just want your business for right now, and I'm telling you I want your business for life.
I want a relationship with you.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to be out of time. I don't want to put a buyer and their realtor and waste their time, because what is going to happen at the end of the day is an appraiser has the same access to the information that we do. So if I'm interpreting your home incorrectly, let's get that second opinion from the appraiser. And if it comes back higher, I'll be more than happy to list it at that price, because then we will have something in writing that we can show the buyer what your home is worth.
That is gold.
And any buyer's agent that is worth their salt when showing their client's property is going to do the same comp search that I have done for you before we write the offer. Any lender is going to require that same appraisal, because a lender is not going to lend a buyer more money than the home is worth. It's just like buying a car. So a bank is not going to allow you to pay more for a car than what it's worth. And that's the law, so that we can protect our consumers. So I'm really glad that you're going to have an appraisal, and we'll see what it comes back as.
So did you also hear what Sean said when she said the first script, myself and my brokerage? So Sean reminds me of this on a lot, is to put
Put the burden on your broker.
on the broker,
Yeah.
because then you're the hero.
Blame it on Bob.
Yeah, well, my broker won't let me do it. Thank you, Sean. I learned from that, guys. So quick tangent, quick cutoff. This is why I would encourage people to teach classes, to not only come, because you actually learn more when you teach than just sitting.
Everybody is put in a different scenario.
Yep.
Not in the same exact. So you hear it from somebody else,
I'll never lose that again. I'll never lose it again. 100%. So 100%. So that's awesome. Thank you, Sean. So once you're sitting there and you've gave them your prices, go through your packet on how you will get their home sold. Subnote, the disc analysis, know your personality types, okay? I'll tell you a real quick story. Know your personality types. We're not going to dive into those too high right now. We can later, but a high D personality, you are going to wear them out. Yeah. A high D personality, if you sit there and go through that packet with them, they're like, oh my God, please get me out of here. A high C or a high I, a high I is me, they want to talk. A high C, they want numbers. They want to see it. You have to be able to gauge and see what that is. Quick story. I walked into a listing appointment when I was with Grant. He went with me. We walked in. Lady greeted us at the door, and I got it. I knew she was a very abrasive, not abrasive, but upfront personality. We're standing there. We're getting ready to do the listing appointment. I pull it out. As soon as I pull it out, he's standing next to me. He takes it out of my hand, puts it straight behind my back. Why'd he do it? Because if I'd have pulled that out and we'd have start going through that, she'd have ate us alive. Okay? Know your personality type. So once we've done this, we answer questions and we close. So the close. When you go for the close, keep the following in mind. Throughout the presentation and right before you close, you want to ask questions that are going to get them to say yes, and even better, that's right. Psychology tells us, I like to add different stuff in to KW stuff. Psychology tells us that when you say yes 3 times in a row, your brain is now programmed to answer yes to the big question, okay? So you will learn, just like scripts, how to chunk those down so that when you say, get to the close, let's sign the paperwork, they say yes. That's right shows a trust and a bond and people willing to work with you. That comes straight out of the book, Never Split the Difference, okay? He's an FBI, go pick it up, go buy it. He's an FBI negotiator who there was no win-win. He either won or people died. So that's right. When you can get somebody to say that's right, they form a trusting bond with you, okay? He was on a podcast last week and he said, you know what? Let's not go down Donald Trump. Let's not go down the political rabbit hole, but Donald Trump. Why do his supporters support him so passionately? Because when he talks, he knows he hits a nerve with people and they say, that's right. That's right. That's right. And it bonds them together. He knows what he's doing. He's a marketer, 100%. Again, know your personality types when you go to close. There are numerous types of close. The assumptive close, direct, soft close. There's 4 others that you can use when you go to close. If you hit a high C or a high S, With an assumptive close, you're going to make them feel uncomfortable. So an assumptive clause being like, hey, Crystal, do you have any questions? Say no.
No.
Okay, let's go ahead and sign the paperwork, and we're going to get this house on the market on this date. Ashley will call you to schedule photos and make sure you have a wonderful experience, okay? Awesome. So soft close. Crystal, you feel comfortable and confident?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think about getting paperwork signed? Say yes.
Okay, yes.
Okay. Once you close, I take past experiences. I was in the car business. The old adage from the car business is simply this: once you've closed and got the deal, shut up. Stop talking.
And then have another shop after you.
Yeah. So you want to be polite and respectful. You want to answer any questions that they have. Stop selling. You're going to oversell yourself. You got the paperwork signed. It's time to go. Okay? Here's our next steps. I'll call you tomorrow.
Oh, you don't know it won't.
Yeah. Nothing good can come afterwards. Not usually. So, quick points to remember. First question for you all: has this been beneficial? Zoom land, has this been beneficial?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you, Dana. Thomas, James, been helpful?
Absolutely.
Cool. Quick points to remember. Always come from contribution. You are there to help them. They have a problem. You're there to help them solve it. Crystal, just like you said, be confident. They are trusting you with the largest asset that they own. Show that you can own the situation. The listing appointment is a professional appointment. Treat it as such. When you go to list a friend's house, when you go to list your mom's house, it is a professional appointment. Yeah, we can talk about build the relationship, but we can talk about personal after paperwork signed. Remember, scripts and dialogues lead a conversation. Learn them, internalize them, and personalize them. Questions, comments, concerns? All right. You're welcome, folks. Sean, would you like to add anything, ma'am? That's all for me.
You did a fantastic job, my friend.
Thank you.
Any questions from Zoom land? All right, guys, go out there and get us some listings.
Perfect. See you guys win the contest we're having.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks. Take care.